Attention bowlers, we're going to get started. Welcome back to Boutwells Bowling Center in Concord, New Hampshire. This is a doubleheader today, Demetri Dellas versus Faye Sawyer, and Chyrel Kneeland versus Chase Abramczyk. I'm Steve Kelly on the call for the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour and 3-ball spare conglomerate. The match format is 5 strings with 14 points on offer, 2 points per string, 4 points per total pinfall, with ties splitting points. It's good as always to have you along with us. This match was live streamed on Friday, January 24th, 2025, and is available for rewatching anytime upon the conclusion of this match. For those interested, I'd like to highlight a few things. First, this broadcast should have subtitles and live captioning enabled. So if you enjoy this feature, please feel free to enable it in the controls below. If you're watching this broadcast on YouTube, the transcript feature will likely also be available. Next, throughout the match, I will be describing the play-by-play action and provide up-to-the-minute scoring to the best of my ability. Keep an eye on the unofficial scoreboard on your screen. It's here for the benefit of the broadcast while the bowlers maintain their official records separately. That's Demetri Dellas leading off to the right of the headpin, taking a right side Candlepin corner, and then Faye Sawyer will take down 6, leaving the 7, the 9, the 4, and the 2. Let's see what Demetri Dellas has on offer on the headpin, and he drops all but the 4-pin without a mark to start things out. Great if I started that up too. Demetri Dellas misses the mark, and Chyrel Kneeland on the 7-9-2-4 and leaves the 7. Both bowlers aiming for a 10 box. And Demetri Dellas gets his for a 10. And Chyrel Kneeland will also open with a 10 box. Our bowlers are not bowling head-to-head today. They have elected not to do so. It's always the bowler's call. So the matchups you see today are not against one another. It is Demetri Dellas against Faye Sawyer and Chyrel Kneeland versus Chase Abramczyk. And that is a working ball as Faye Sawyer labels Demetri Dellas' opening pitch. Not on the headpin, but drops 7, the 1, the 3, and the 9. Chyrel Kneeland to the right of the headpin with the Lawrence Welk Special, a 1 and a 2. Dellas on the 1-3-9 and takes the 3, leaves the 1 and the 9. And Chyrel misses her target and object as well, all the same. Leaves the Lawrence Welk Special up on the deck. Dellas on the 1-9, and Dellas will still be perfect with 2 10s in a row, 20 after 2. And Chyrel Kneeland will also take a 10. No bowlers missing any pins yet. It's 10 after... it's 20 after 2 for both of our bowlers. There we go. So, folks, as you just saw, keep an eye on the unofficial scoreboard on your screen. It's here for the benefit of the broadcast, while the bowlers maintain the official book records separately, and thankfully some days. And, of course, this goes without saying, scores may be subject to review or correction. Dellas was on the headpin, dropping 7 with a split, the 7-10-6, and Chyrel Kneeland's got the bucket of 5 on the left. She was also on the headpin. Let's take a look at Demetri Dellas first of all. He beans the deadwood in the center and sails right through the center, colliding with nothing. No mark for Demetri Dellas. Chyrel Kneeland on the left side, bucket of 5, pops the 5, leaves the other 4. Dellas for the 10 box. What a nice sweep by Demetri Dellas all the while. Chyrel Kneeland will take 1, take another, but it won't be a 10 box. Take a shot, take a look at that 10 box by Demetri Dellas all the while. Take a look, bam, and the slide. That pin action was marvelous here at Boutwells Bowling Center. It was only for a 10 box, but still pretty to watch regardless. Demetri Dellas on the headpin. And same shot, a split of 7. Chyrel Kneeland on the headpin. Drops 8. That's the 4 and the 8 for Chyrel Kneeland. The 4 kind of mixed around. And Dellas pops the 7, leaves the 6 and the 10. Chyrel Kneeland on the 4 and the 8. Takes the 8, leaves the 4. The 4 was slid off its spot. Not like it really would have mattered all that much in that situation. Demetri Dellas will take the 10 and leave the 6 for a 9. for 39 after 4. And Chyrel Kneeland will just barely take a 10 for 39 after 4. Both bowlers with the same score. And again, they are not bowling against each other today. Again, they've elected to not do that. Let's take a look at Demetri Dellas. Starting out first here on lane 22 at Boutwells Bowling Center on the head pin. Drops 7, maybe 8. The 4-pin slides off its spot. Awkward split for Demetri Dellas. The 2 and the 4, kinda, and the 10. Chyrel Kneeland has dropped 5. Not on the head pin. It's the 4 horsemen left in the 9. Demetri Dellas will fire first for the spare, and he's quite off target. Doesn't connect with anything. Chyrel Kneeland on the 5 drop. Takes 3, takes 4, leaves the 1. Demetri Dellas will take the 2 and the 4. Will he get a roll to the 10? Just lightly tapping the 10, but it will be a 9 for 48 after 5. And Chyrel Kneeland will take a 10 box as well. That puts Chyrel Kneeland at 49 after 5. Demetri Dellas, 48 after 5. Those scores are confirmed. You're watching the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. I'm Steve Kelly on the call for the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour and 3-ball spare conglomerate. Here on this Friday afternoon at Boutwells Bowling Center in Concord, New Hampshire, we're going to say hello to our opposite bowlers today. It's going to be Faye Sawyer on lane 22, and Chase Abramczyk on lane 23. Let's see what happens here. Faye Sawyer will start out first on the right, dropping 5, not on the head pin. And Chase Abramczyk is off to the left of the head pin. What's on offer down there? Well, Faye Sawyer has a 6 drop, the 1, the 2, the 4, and the 7. Chase Abramczyk has the 1, the 3, the 6, the 4, the 7, and the 9. And neither bowler gets any mark, long story short. So Faye Sawyer's got the 1 and the 7. Chase has got 1, 3, 6, 9, 4, 7. Faye Sawyer fires first. She's off to the right. It'll be an 8. And Chase will clean up for a 7. So let's start out with our statistical discussion and lecture with Faye Sawyer. With a season record of 74 and 66 with 9 matches played this season, Faye Sawyer is in Class C North Division 4 of the ACST this season. She was in Class B North Division 4 last year. Her away record is 54 and 50, while her home record is 40 and 16. 5 matches home, 4 matches away. It's a split for Faye Sawyer. Bucket of 5 on the left on the 10, and Chase Abramczyk with a split of his own, the 4, 6, 2, 10. Let's see what Faye Sawyer can do. On the bucket of 5, will it be a spare? It's a spare for Faye Sawyer. Faye Sawyer draws first blood with the first spare of the game. Chase Abramczyk with a working 3rd ball will take 7. And let's see if we can get this on camera here. This replay from Faye Sawyer. Check it out. Beans the bucket of 5 and takes the 10. And that was the story for Faye Sawyer, with that mark and the first spare of the match. Faye Sawyer is now working on a mark. Here we go, Faye Sawyer. Lane 22. Ball tails to the left. That's a 3 fill. And Chase Abramczyk with a 7 drop, 8 drop, 5 and 10. The 3 fill is confirmed for Faye Sawyer. Faye Sawyer, the second ball. To the right. Leaves 5 on the deck. Chase Abramczyk misses the 5 to the left. 1, 2, 6, 9, 10 for Faye Sawyer, and the 5 and the 10 for Chase. Chase A, Mr. Abramczyk. That's a 6 for Faye Sawyer all the while. And Chase will nudge down 1 pin for a 9. So far, Faye Sawyer is the only one with the mark. This Class C and E doubleheader today at Boutwells Bowling Center in Concord, New Hampshire. As a side note, I apologize for the spelling error of Chyrel's last name on the title screen. You know, there's some things you proofread 1,000 times over and over, and there's always one thing you miss. And apparently that was the thing that was missed this broadcast. No such thing as a perfect cast. So Chase drops 7, 3, 6, 10. Faye Sawyer with a working ball of a couple down on the right half, and the second ball takes some down on the left half as well as the 10, leaving 3. Chase Abramczyk takes the 6 and 10, leaves the 3. Faye Sawyer on the 1, 5, 8 for a 10 box. She fires and takes the 1 for an 8 box. Chase will take 10. 33. 35 after 4 for Faye Sawyer, sorry, and 33 after 4 for Chase Abramczyk. That is confirmed. For a second, I thought I had something crisscross, but did not. And Faye Sawyer drops 5. 4 horsemen left in the 10. Chase Abramczyk takes the half Worcester plus a friend. It's going to be Faye Sawyer first on lane 22. Faye Sawyer fires. And she leaves the 1 and the 2. The Lawrence Welk. A 1 and a 2. And Chase leaves the 6-10. No mark for either bowler. They're both shooting for a 10 box with an 8 box guarantee. Faye will take 8. Chase will take 9. And that's the end of the half of the first game for every bowler here in this 5-game series today. Where are we at? Demetri Dellas is at 48 after 5, markless. Faye Sawyer with 1 spare, and the only spare is at 43 after 5, down by Demetri by 5. Chyrel Kneeland is at 49 after 5, and Chase Abramczyk is at 42 after 5. And I may need to score correct something down there, as it seems that Chase Abramczyk appears to have 41, but we'll double check those. Again, warranty, warranty, void where prohibited, and blah, 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 about on-stream scores and whatnot. Chyrel Kneeland with a 6 drop and a split. Demetri Dellas drops 6 of his own. Looking up Chase's. Seems he was officially credited with... Chase Abramczyk was apparently officially credited with an 8 box in the 5th. So I will correct mine to match the bowlers. Again, it's always the bowler's call and the bowler's final say. So that's Chyrel Kneeland with an 8 box opening up. And that will be a 9 box for Demetri Dellas. Both bowlers having some trouble getting things started today. Let's talk about Chyrel Kneeland with a season record of 89 and 51 with 10 matches played, a 1.75 win-loss ratio overall. When she's at home at Boutwells Bowling Center, she's 41 and 29 with 5 matches played. And away, she's 48 and 22. That's over 500 in terms of the records, both home and away. And that's a 9 drop for Chyrel Kneeland. Demetri Dellas with a split, and a 6 drop split at that. So Chyrel Kneeland is shooting at the 5. With wood around it. That's a spare for Chyrel Kneeland. Chyrel Kneeland clocks in with a spare, the first spare of the match for her, and Demetri Dellas pops 1 pin and leaves 3 on the deck. And the Dellas Cowboy will take 8 for 65 and 7. Chyrel Kneeland 67 and a ball in 7. Those scores are confirmed. Chyrel Kneeland has a season average of 98.45, home average 96.4, away average 100.5, with a high single of 118 and a high series of 527. Chyrel Kneeland is working on a spare, and she'll take 8 on that spare. With a headpin shot, leaves the 5 and the 8. Demetri Dellas, powerful ball off to the right, drops 3 with a right side Candlepin corner. So we have Chyrel Kneeland on the 5 and the 8. She fires. Oh, and just a little bit full on the 5. It looks good on paper, but the ball was just a little bit too full. Demetri Dellas punches hard down the center and leaves the 2 and the 5 on the deck. Chyrel Kneeland is shooting for a 10 box. She'll take 9. That's 84 and 8. And that'll be a 9 for Demetri Dellas as well. 74 in 8. Chyrel Kneeland has 10 strikes, 87 spares, and 90 tens. She has a 37% perfect mox percentage. Seasonal total pins 49.23. Chyrel Kneeland is currently second place in E North Division 2 and the number 4 seed in Class E North overall. Chyrel Kneeland on the headpin drops 7, leaves 3 on the right. 3, 6, 10. Demetri Dellas is off target to the right of the headpin, but gets a decent sidewall mix of 7. 1, 7, 9 for Demetri Dellas and 3, 6, 10 for Chyrel Kneeland. Chyrel firing on the 3, 6, 10, and she's going to be on the 3, but a little bit too much to the left of the 3. Kicks the sidewall, doesn't touch the 6. Demetri Dellas on the 1, 7, 9, and it goes. That's a spare for Demetri Dellas, 84 in 9. Chyrel Kneeland just slightly misses for an 8 box. We're going to take a look at Demetri Dellas' spare here once again. Look at the 189 and the wood, particularly to the left of the headpin, and watch that go. He beans it. He's to the right of the headpin, which sent the pins over to the left, and it was full enough to take the 9. So here comes Chyrel Kneeland on lane 22. She'll fire first. And she's off to the left of the headpin, dropping 5. 4 horsemen left in the 8. Demetri Dellas, and that's a strike on spare for Demetri Dellas on the headpin. That's a hammer ball. It all goes almost immediately. We'll show that again in just a few seconds here. Chyrel Kneeland is off to the left, tails off. The 2-pin needed some coaxing to go, but the headpin stays. Just the headpin for a 10 box for Chyrel Kneeland. That'll be a 9. Let's take a look at Demetri Dellas' strike one more time. Watch it. Just a big hammer ball and kaboom. And that was Demetri Dellas' strike. And we still have 1 ball to go here. Or 2 balls to go specifically. Demetri Dellas is filling that strike. And there's a pin kind of stuck down there. Gonna have to respot. You see that down there? So this is just a pin clear ball. Oh, and of course it just kind of goes and resolves itself. You know, some prime Candlepin comedy going on right now. Demetri Dellas working on a strike. Here he goes. To the right of the headpin, gets a nice mix of 6 so far. Won't be a strike, another strike, but certainly wasn't for lack of trying. So next ball finishes it. Demetri Dellas on the 1, 2, 3, 4. A 1, and a 2, and a 3, and a 4. And it will be 8. And that will be a 112 first game for Demetri Dellas and a 101 first game for Chyrel Kneeland. Those scores are indeed confirmed. So that's the story so far. So 5 boxes to go for Faye Sawyer and Chase Abramczyk coming up here on the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. Don't go anywhere. The action will resume in just a couple of seconds as our bowlers return to the approaches of Boutwells Bowling Center in Concord, New Hampshire. Chase Abramczyk on your right. And Chyrel Kneeland on the left. Chase Abramczyk with a 5-7 split. Oh, sorry, not Chyrel Kneeland. Faye Sawyer. My mistake. When you click one thing and say another, that's what happens. And Chase takes the 5, leaves the 7. Faye Sawyer, solid hit down the center, leaves the 4 and the 7. And Chase Abramczyk will take a 7 to open up. And, sorry, a 9. 9 for Chase, leaving the 7 pin, and that'll be a 9 for Faye Sawyer. 52 after 6 for Faye Sawyer. And Chase Abramczyk has 50 after 6, as confirmed. So why don't we talk a little bit about Chase Abramczyk. It's the first time on my streams that Chase Abramczyk is making an appearance. He has a season record of 54 and 100. He's in Class E North Division 1. I believe it is his first season here in the ACST. He's off to the left of the headpin on his first ball. Faye Sawyer, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. That is a gnarly gnarly split for Faye Sawyer to contend with, but there is a piece of wood along the 5. I guess that could be the silver lining. Chase Abramczyk punches the 1 and the 5, leaves the 2, 3, 6, 9, 10. Faye Sawyer's got the 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 to work with. And she nearly takes everything, leaves the 6. No mark for either bowler. Chase is shooting for something greater than a 5 or a 5, then it'll take 7. Faye Sawyer with a 9. Faye Sawyer's at 61 after 7. Chase Abramczyk 57 after 7. Chase Abramczyk again 54 and 100 record. At home he's 26-58. Away he's 28-42. 6 matches at home, 5 matches away. That's a 7 drop and a split for Chase Abramczyk. 5, 6, 10. Faye Sawyer now on lane 21. To the left of the head pin, she drops 6. Working balls for both. Chase pops the 5, leaves the 6 and the 10. Faye Sawyer's got the 1, the 8, the 6, and the 10 to deal with. She fires. Oh, and if she was just a hair off the head pin, she'll take the 8, leave the 1, 6, 10. Chase will clean up for a 10 box. Excellent janitorial work by Chase Abramczyk, 67 after 8. Faye Sawyer will take the head pin lightly, leaving the 6 and the 10. That's an 8 box for Faye Sawyer. 69 after 8 for Sawyer, 67 after 8 for Abramczyk. Faye Sawyer today, 2 headpin shots for 8 with 2 splits. Chase is 5 headpin shots with 4 splits out of 8 boxes so far. And Chase is off, not on the headpin, but drops 6. Gets a decent mix. That Boutwells mixing action. That's a headpin shot for Faye Sawyer and a 7-drop split. And I think Chase got the better leave, despite not being on the headpin here. And he's just a little bit off. Leaves the 1 and the 7 on the deck. Faye Sawyer will take the 2 on the left and leave the 10 on the right. Chase will take 8. That's an 8 for Abramczyk, 75 after 9. Faye Sawyer's looking at a 9 or a 10 for a possible 79 in 9, and that will be 79 in 9 for Faye Sawyer. Chase Abramczyk's season average is 94.5, with a home average of 92.1 and an away average of 96.9. His high single is 113, his high series is 501. With 16 strikes, 69 spares, and 94 tens. That's a 6 drop for Chase, leaving the 1, the 3, the 4, and the 7. Okay, Sawyer to the left of the headpin drops 6. 1, 3, 7, 10. Chase. And that's a spare for Chase Abramczyk. We'll get a replay on that in just a moment. That's 85 and a bonus for Chase Abramczyk. That might have saved his game in terms of average. And Faye Sawyer nearly takes everything out, but a piece of wood backfires off of the right sidewall and doesn't take the 10. It's going to be a 9 or a 10 box for Faye Sawyer to close out the first game. For a potential 89 game. It'll be 88 with that 9 box. And let's see if we can get this replay kicked in here for Chase Abramczyk. Look at that, the 1, 3, 4, 7. And when he fires upon it, he's right on the left of the headpin, and that perfectly went. And that was Chase Abramczyk's spare. Now he's filling that spare. The continuation of that spare. It's going to be a 6 drop for Chase Abramczyk for 91. That'll be his first game. Let's assess everyone's progress here in the first game. At the end of the first, it's Demetri Dellas 112 over Faye Sawyer's 88, victorious by 24, taking 2 points. Chyrel Kneeland 101 in the first game. Chase Abramczyk, with that spare in the end, tried hard to come back, but only has 91. Chyrel takes the first game by 10. Chyrel Kneeland has 2 points. Demetri Dellas has 2 points. That is the story of the first game here at the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. As we move on to Game 2. And welcome to Game 2. It's going to be Demetri Dellas on the right side this time. And we'll have Chyrel Kneeland on the left. Demetri Dellas leads off. It's off the right with a hard ball, drops 5, 4 horsemen left in the 9. 1, 2, 4, 7, 9. Chyrel Kneeland, left of the headpin, light hit. Thin hit for both. Working balls for both. Demetri Dellas is off to the left of the head pin this time, overcorrecting, leaves the 1, the 7, and the 9 on the deck. Chyrel Kneeland is on the 1-3 pocket, but hits a little thin and light, leaves the 5 and the 10. Dellas for a 7, 8, 9, or 10 box. He'll collide with the wood, and he's going to take a 7. Chyrel Kneeland all the while. Working to reconcile. And we'll take 9. 9 after 1, Kneeland. 7 after 1, Dellas. Demetri Dellas is the only one with a strike so far. All the other bowlers have at least all one spare. Demetri Dellas almost for strike number 2. He drops 9, leaves the 5. Chyrel Kneeland on the head pin, and that was hilarious. Hilarious and tragic, but still hilarious nonetheless. 7, 8, 10, 5, 2, 6 for Chyrel Kneeland. Demetri Dellas will just barely by the skin of your teeth get a spare on that head pin. That's single pin spare. And Kneeland is still working on some pins down there, 5 box or greater. 2, 5, 6, 8, 10 for Chyrel Kneeland. For the 10 box, it'll be 7. And I think I caught this on replay. Here we go. And kaboom, just slightly a spare for Demetri Dellas. But it doesn't matter how you get it, as long as you get it. And it's not a foul. Those are the only rules. Demetri Dellas is working on a spare. And he's on the head pin. He drops 9. He's dialing in that first ball a little bit better now. 26 after 2 for Dellas. Chyrel Kneeland to the right of the head pin with a 6 drop so far. 1, 2, 4, 8. Dellas, he'll take a spare. Demetri Dellas, spare on spare. 36 in a ball after 3. Chyrel Kneeland's got the 1, 2, 4, 8. And she was on it, but not full enough. The head pin kicked off to the left, and she's left with the 4 and the 8. 8 box guarantee, 10 box maximum for Chyrel Kneeland. Chyrel for the 10. She'll take 8, 24. After 3, let's see if we get Demetri Dellas' single pin spare. This is slightly different than the previous single pin spare. You'll see he played the upper side of that wood, and that was how we took it out without getting a deflection. That wood, when it's diagonal, can be a really deceptive thing. It thwarts a lot of spares in Candlepin, and Demetri knew how to play it there. So Demetri Dellas on lane 22. On a mark on a double spare. And he's to the right of the head pin. But he got an interesting mix of 6. 4 horsemen left. Chyrel Kneeland's off to the right with the right side Candlepin corner. Demetri Dellas with the 2-pin. Looks like it's slightly moved off its spot. And he was right on the 2-pin, but he left the 1. Chyrel Kneeland will miss the object pin and connect with 2 pins behind the 4 horsemen. Dellas will clean up for a 10 box. Great janitorial work. 52 after 4. Chyrel Kneeland for a 10 box. She'll take 3 of the 4 for a 9 box. That's 33 after 4 for Kneeland confirmed, and 52 after 4 confirmed for Demetri Dellas. Demetri Dellas with 7 headpin shots for 14, 50%, 4 splits. Chyrel Kneeland 7 headpin shots, 3 splits. Demetri Dellas is off to the right of the headpin and drops 6 again. 4 horsemen left side again, but all the pins are on their spots this time. Chyrel Kneeland, here we go. It's the right of the headpin, takes a half Worcester and a friend. So Demetri Dellas, let's talk about Demetri Dellas. He has a season record of 84 and 42 with 9 matches played. That's a 2.0 win-loss ratio. At home, he's 52 and 18 with 5 matches played. And away, he's 32 and 24 with 4 matches played. Demetri Dellas missing his mark. Chyrel Kneeland nearly takes them all. The 6-pin is the only one that remains. And drops the ball. Demetri Dellas has a season average of 112.75, a home average of 115.6, and a away average of 109.9. That's a 9 box for Demetri Dellas to conclude his half with 61. And Chyrel Kneeland for a 9 box, that will be a 42 half for Chyrel Kneeland. So again, our bowlers are not bowling head-to-head, so it wasn't a head-to-head matchup, but Demetri Dellas has clocked in 61 pins in the second half of the second game. First half of the second game, excuse me. Chyrel Kneeland, 42 after 5 in the second. And now we will begin the top of the second game for our other 2 bowlers today. Abramczyk, who will be on the left in the black shirt. Bear with me one moment while I just get these scoreboards just relocated. Now be Faye Sawyer on the right. Faye Sawyer fires first. She's on the head pin with a really thin hit. Unbelievable what that was. That's a head pin shot if you could believe it. 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10 for Faye Sawyer. And Abramczyk has a left side back Candlepin corner on the first ball. Faye Sawyer misses the object wood. 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 is what she's shooting at, but Abramczyk cleans up for a nice, fantastic spare. We'll take a look at that in just a moment, because even I missed it. But I got it on the replay. That'll be a 6 box for Faye Sawyer. Let's take a look. Well, first of all, we'll see Faye Sawyer's attempt on that spare, but then Abramczyk, look at that. He fires on the pile of pins, and there it goes. So back to the live action. We got Faye Sawyer down there on lane 22. Faye Sawyer, opening pitch. To the right of the head pin. A little off target, drops 3. Abramczyk on a spare. Left of the head pin, drops 7, drops 8. 8 on the spare. A nice mix of 1-3. Faye Sawyer, and she's on it. That's a spare for Faye Sawyer. Faye Sawyer has a mark in the second game. Chase was just off target. Something happened there on the release. Thought about it maybe a little too much. So it's going to be a 10-box opportunity for Abramczyk. And it'll take 1 for a 9-box, 27 after 2. Let's look at Faye Sawyer's spare here. It's almost like the same thing that Abramczyk had. Look at that. She takes that, and it all goes. And that was the story for Faye Sawyer. So she's now working on a spare, Faye Sawyer is. 16 and a bonus after 2. And she's on the head pin. Split of 8, fill of 8. 9, 10. Chase is off target, drops 6, 1, 3, 6, 10 is what he's shooting at. So look at this, the 9 and the 10 with a piece of wood diagonal to the 9 for Faye Sawyer. She'll need to play that wood, and she'll get that for a spare. She played the wood just right. Abramczyk takes 3 of 4, leaves the 1. So Faye Sawyer has a season average of 102.05, a home average of 105.9, and a away average of 98.2. Faye Sawyer's home average high single 133 and a 606 high series. Let's look at that shot once again by Faye Sawyer. She's going to play that diagonal wood. Watch how that goes. She fires, and then kabam, it goes. That's a spare for Faye Sawyer. And we're live once again. Faye Sawyer on a spare, on a double spare. Just to the right of the head pin, she drops 6, drops 7, fills with 7. These non-head pin shots have been mixing very well. Abramczyk takes out a bunch on the left and is left with the right half on the deck. A 6-pack. Check his ID. Weak card at Boutwells Bowling Center. Oh, and look at that. That was almost another spare by Faye Sawyer. 1-10-6. The 1 and the 10 went, but the 6 did not. Abramczyk leaves the 5, the kingpin on the deck. Both bowlers are shooting for 10 boxes. Faye Sawyer fires first, and it's just off target for a 9 for 50 after 4. Chase will take a 10 for 46 after 4. And those scores are confirmed all around. Faye Sawyer has 16 strikes, 82 spares, 103 tens, with a perfect box percentage of 40, 5,064 seasonal total pins. Faye Sawyer fires first. Is on the head pin, drops 6, 7, 9, 4, 2. Abramczyk with half Worcester and then some, a couple extra pins. 7, 9, 2, 4 for Faye Sawyer. Faye Sawyer has a 600 on record this season. She bowled at Academy Lanes. It was in a match that I streamed. Check that out on Candlepin Bowling Network on YouTube. No mark for either bowler. Thin hits on both sides of, both lanes. 8 box for Faye Sawyer. And a 9 box for Chase Abramczyk. That will be the end of the half for all of our bowlers here at this top of the second. The end of the top of the second. 61 for Demetri Dellas compared to Faye Sawyer's 58. It's a difference of 3 and a difference of 27 in the total. Chyrel Kneeland 42 after 5 and Chase Abramczyk 55 after 5. A difference of 13 in favor of Chase Abramczyk and a difference of 3 in the total overall. So that is the story of the first half of the second game. And we're going to move on to the second half of the second game for our bowlers. Demetri Dellas on your left, Chyrel Kneeland on your right. Chyrel Kneeland fires first. On the head pin. Takes 8, 6 wiggles. Demetri Dellas is off to the left. Mixes down 5. So let's check this out. We got the 610 with a piece of wood. That piece of wood, I'm worried about that piece of wood. Chyrel Kneeland will have to fire on it in some way, but she thought about it a little too much, perhaps tried to avoid it, but missed everything. Demetri Dellas, air ball. Nothing doing. No marks for either bowler. We'll see what happens now. They're shooting for 10 boxes. Chyrel Kneeland on the retry. And she'll play the wood and sail right through, threading the needle. It'll be an 8 box. And Dellas, that's an uncharacteristic 5 box for Demetri Dellas to start things out. So Chyrel Kneeland has the number 9 high class average in Class E North at 98.45. She has the third highest class average strike fill in E North at 8.6. She'll drop 6. And my goodness, Demetri Dellas with an odd split. We've seen a couple of all I can describe are odd splits today. Demetri Dellas got the 7-10, 4-5, 6-3. So that's no mark for either bowler. Both bowlers releasing rather quickly after one another. So that's basically remedial third balls, janitorial work for both of our bowlers. Chyrel Kneeland will fire first on the 2, 7 and 10. Both bowlers 7 boxes simultaneously. That was rather surprisingly fast, but 73 after 7 for Demetri Dellas and 57 after 7 for Chyrel Kneeland. And it seems Demetri has a 72 on the board. I'll have to find out why that's the case. It appears he was credited a 6, not a 7. Chyrel Kneeland drops 7. And Demetri Dellas with a split, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. Just rough mixes today. I can kind of feel the frustration kind of mounting here for Demetri Dellas so far. Chyrel will take the 7, leaving the 1 and the 3. No mark. Demetri will play the wood. That's kind of the best he can do. And there's a ball hanging out, and it's sticking down there. So that ball is going to have to be removed. Demetri's brother will go down to retrieve it. That's an 8 box all the while for Chyrel Kneeland. In the rule book, the ball has to be removed, and you got to be careful, especially when it's in tight quarters like that. But it seems Dino had a plan, so no worries there. Demetri Dellas is shooting at the 7-4-5 with wood across the 4 and the 5. That's probably the ticket to getting a 10 box. But he hits it a little bit too hard and takes only the 5, leaving the 4 and the 7 for an 8 box. And that puts him at 80 after 8, after the recalculation. After checking with the computerized scoring down there, compared to mine, 65 after 8 for Chyrel Kneeland. Again, on-stream score is unofficial. You know the words. Chyrel Kneeland's on the headpin, drops a few, and Demetri Dellas, similar story. Demetri Dellas got a better mix of 6. Chyrel Kneeland's got a mix of 5. There is a piece of wood. Oh, it's in the gutter now. Chyrel Kneeland, 1, 2, 6, 8, 10 on the deck. She'll fire first. Just on the 1, 2, 8, leaves the 6 and the 10 a little bit too full. Demetri, Dellas. Ooh, not quite full enough. No mark for either bowler. They're just having some trouble getting things started down there. Chyrel will take 10. And Demetri will take 8. Get a field goal. We can't give him 3 points, but how about 8? It's about as much as we can really do at the moment. So Demetri, Dellas, 88 after 9. Chyrel, Kneeland, 75 after 9. Hope you're enjoying this match. I'm Steve Kelly for the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour and 3-ball spare conglomerate on this Friday afternoon in Concord, New Hampshire at Boutwells Bowling Center. It's finally not that cold out anymore. It's still cold, but not nearly as cold as it has been the past couple days. But thankfully, in bowling, there are no rain or snow delays indoors, unless we can't physically get here, and that's a 7 drop on a split for Chyrel, Kneeland. 5, 6, 10, and Demetri, Dellas wasn't on the head pin. He's left with the 4 horseman right side, 6 drop. Chyrel, Kneeland sails right through the center void between the 5 and the 6. Demetri, Dellas on the 1, 3, 6, 10. And he'll run them down for a spare. That's a spare for Demetri, Dellas. Chyrel, Kneeland for the 10 box will take 8. Let's see Demetri, Dellas's rundown of the right side horseman. Once again, look at that go. On the 1-3 pocket, that's how they go. And Demetri, Dellas, 1 bonus ball coming up here on the tour. And he's off to the right of the head pin. It's a 6 on his spare for 104 opening second game for Demetri, Dellas. We'll assess the totals and the leads after Faye, Sawyer and Abramczyk finish their next 5 boxes here. And the scores are confirmed. Abramczyk will be on lane 22 on the right. And Faye Sawyer will be on the left on lane 21. Here comes Abramczyk on the head pin, drops 7. 3, 6, 10. Abramczyk has 16 strikes, 69 spares, and 94 tens with a 33% perfect box percentage. Faye Sawyer drops 5 on the head pin with a bucket of 5 on the left. Or the hay bale, as some call it. Abramczyk will take the 6 and leave the 3 and the 10, no mark. Faye Sawyer on the bucket of 5 on the left. And she's a little bit full, but she'll leave, and yeah, she's going to leave the 5 and the 10, the 5-pin wiggle. The 5-pin wiggles. Abramczyk will take 8. For 63 after 6, and Faye Sawyer will get a nice 10 box on the 5 and the 7 for 68 and 6 for Faye Sawyer, and 63 and 6 for Abramczyk. Those scores are confirmed. Abramczyk has 5,186 seasonal total pins. He's currently 5th place in Class E North Division 4, and he's the 9th seed in Class E North overall, and he'll drop 4 on his opening pitch to the left of the head pin. Faye Sawyer, all the while, right on the 1-3 pocket, drops 6, left side diamond. You know the lecture about the diamonds on the Channel 5 show with Don Gillis. The diamonds are difficult shots, and Abramczyk almost takes everything, leaves the 9 on the deck. Faye Sawyer will leave the 8 on the deck. Abramczyk for the 10 will get that 10 for 73 and 7. Faye Sawyer will take 9 for 77 in 7. 77 and 7 confirmed for Faye Sawyer. 73 after 7 confirmed for Abramczyk. Abramczyk has a 16th high class average in E North, 94.5. Number 6 Class E North total strikes at 16. And he's off to the left at the head pin. Abramczyk has the 7th highest class strike fill on average of 8. That's a split for Faye Sawyer all the while, 9-10. Abramczyk has the 6th most total 10s at 94. That'll be Abramczyk leaving the 3 and the 6. Faye Sawyer missing the sticks. No mark for either bowler. Abramczyk on the 3 and the 6. It'll be an 8 box. Off target there on the right side gutter. Faye Sawyer for the 10 box. She'll get a field goal, but we'll award her 8 points. As this isn't football. 85 in 8 for Faye Sawyer and 81 after 8 for Chase Abramczyk. Chase Abramczyk, 6 for 18 on the head pin with 4 splits today, totaling 14 and bonus mark fills, averaging 7 per mark. Faye Sawyer, 9 head pin shots for 18 with 7 splits, totaling 18 and bonus pins, averaging 6 per mark. Abramczyk drops 6, leaving the 1, the 2, the 7, and the 10. Faye Sawyer on the head pin with a split. It's going to be 7-10, 2-4. Abramczyk is off target to the right. Faye Sawyer on the 2, 4, 7, 10. She's a little full on the 2-4. No mark for either bowler. Abramczyk for his 10 box. He'll take all but the head pin for a 9 for 90 and 9. And Sawyer for the 10 box. She'll take the 7, leave the 10 for a 9 box. 94 and 9 for Faye Sawyer. Thanks for tuning into the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour, the best place to watch some of the most exciting Candlepin matches from a wide selection of bowlers from all skill levels. We're having a fantastic time here at Boutwells Bowling Center in Concord, New Hampshire. That's Chase Abramczyk with a 7 drop and a split, the 7-10-4 for the opening pitch of the 10th frame, and that's a spare for Faye Sawyer. Wow, that's something. 7-9-10, 4-6-2. We're just getting the weird splits today. And Chase Abramczyk with a fantastic spare. That was a pretty spare on that 4-7-10 split. Faye Sawyer, second ball, takes a few, leaves a few. It's the 2-6-9-10 for Faye Sawyer. Chase Abramczyk will take the second game, though. He's at 100 and a ball, victorious over Chyrel Kneeland's 83 in the second. He's just working to claw back the total at this point. That's a 9 box for Faye Sawyer. Let's take a look at that spare again by Chase Abramczyk. I think I have time to show it. Look at this. This 4-7-10. Plays the wood. It all goes perfectly. Now he's going to fill that spare right now. Here he goes. Chase Abramczyk. Drops 6, drops 7, drops 8. Spare 8. 108. Second game for Chase Abramczyk. So he will take the second game. And he has the total by 15 now. He'll take the second game by 25 and has the total by 15. 2-2, point differential of Chase Abramczyk and Chyrel Kneeland. Faye Sawyer just off by 1 in the second game. 103 to Demetri Dellas' 104. And Demetri Dellas holds on to the total by 25. 216 2-game total for Demetri Dellas. 191 2-game total for Faye Sawyer. 184 2-game total for Chyrel Kneeland. And 199 2-game total for Chase Abramczyk. And that is the story of the second game and your score update here on the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. If you're new to the ACST, if you're new to Candlepin Bowling, if you're new to all of this, and you just happen to tune into the stream for the first time, I want to welcome you and hope you enjoy what you're watching. If you're not sure what Candlepin Bowling is, I hope I can maybe try to explain it a little bit to you. It's a sport largely specific to New England and Eastern Canada. Compared to 10-pin bowling, there's a few rule changes and obviously a couple of physical differences. As you can see, the pins are much narrower, the balls are much smaller, and you'll notice we have deadwood down there that we do not remove between balls, and that's how things work. So neither bowler here on the head pin. Demetri Dellas on the spare attempt. Will he get the 5? Not quite. He had the half Worcester plus a friend, and the second ball was a correcting ball, but Chyrel Kneeland, though, that's a spare. We're going to get that on replay in just a moment. Let's see if we can play that for you while I fill in the scores. So 9 box for Dellas, but look at this right here. Right on it. It was almost too full, but there was just enough of a splash where all the pins went. Let's see Demetri Dellas. To the right of the head pin. He's been having trouble finding the head pin. He's 9 for 22 on the head pin. I don't know what's going on, but Chyrel Kneeland on the head pin. 7 drop, 7 fill, 7, 8, 5. Demetri Dellas on the second ball. He leaves the 4, 5, 2, 7. No mark. Chyrel Kneeland might have this if she can play the 5 the right way to kick to the left and play that wood in between the 7 and the 8. We'll see what happens. Oh, and right idea, but kicked a little bit too far, too late. Demetri Dellas for the 10 box. He'll get a 9. That's 18 after 2. 2 9s in a row. Chyrel Kneeland is 10 for 22 on the headpin today with 6 splits, totaling 15 in bonus fills, averaging 7.5 per mark. That's a 9 box for Chyrel Kneeland, and 26 after 2. Demetri Dellas, 18 after 2. So Demetri Dellas with a high single of 159, a high series of 630, with 27 strikes, 113 spares, 117 tens, a perfect box percentage of 56%. That's a 7 drop, not on the headpin for Demetri Dellas. 1, 2, 8. Chyrel Kneeland to the right of the headpin as well. Working balls for both. Demetri Dellas has 5,087 seasonal total pins, and that's a spare for Demetri Dellas. Just a full enough shot where everything went. Let's even get a replay for that going just a little bit for you. Chyrel Kneeland on the 1-7-10. Still the one, or it results in the 1-7-10, no mark. But it's the TV shot and a piece of wood across the 10. We call it the TV shot because on Channel 5 WCVB, Candlepin Bowling with Don Gillis, this was the bonus ball contest. If the bowler made the shot, which is difficult in its own right, they would pull a postcard and someone at home would win something, and I think the bowler would win something as well. It's a 9 box for Chyrel Kneeland, but check out this spare by Demetri Dellas. Right full enough on the 1-2-8. That was how it went. Demetri Dellas filling that spare right now. He fires on the headpin, and he fills with 5. Spread eagle minus the 7. Chyrel Kneeland to the right of the headpin. Working ball, 1, 2, 4, 6, 10. Demetri Dellas tries to make 2 take 3. 2 ended up taking 1. 3 and 6 left on the deck. Chyrel Kneeland, 1, 2, 4, 6, 10. Chyrel Kneeland fires. A little bit too much on the headpin. Demetri Dellas for a 10 box. He'll miss for an 8. Leaving the 3 and the 6. Chyrel Kneeland will punch 1 for a 7 box. 42 after 4 for Kneeland. 41 after 4 for Dellas. And those scores are confirmed. I love it when that happens. So Demetri Dellas is second place in Class C North Division 2, and he's the number 5 seed in Class C North overall. He has the number 8 ACST class... high single, number 8 overall in all of the ACST at 159, and he has the 9th highest all-time ACST perfect box percentage this season at 56%, and he's off to the right of the headpin. Chyrel Kneeland is on the headpin, drops 6 with the left side of diamond. 4, 5, 2, 8. Demetri Dellas with a spare takes the rest out. 51 after 5 and a bonus. Demetri Dellas slowly dialing the marks back up here, and the diamond wins again for Chyrel Kneeland, leaving the 5 and the 8. Faye Sawyer remarks, it's not an easy shot, and every bowler knows that. Looks easy, is definitely not easy in practice. Kneeland for the 10 box. It'll be 8 for 50 and 5. I think I can get the spare here queued up. So 50 and 5 for Kneeland, 51 and a bonus, and 5 for Dellas. Look at that spare. Awesome. All right, so let's look at the scores real quick. Demetri Dellas, 2 marks, 51 after 5 with a bonus, and Demetri Dellas, 1 mark, 50 after 5. And those scores are confirmed. Abramczyk and Faye Sawyer are now getting ready to fire. Down there on the decks. Faye Sawyer first in the black on the right. Abramczyk on the left will follow. And Faye Sawyer and Abramczyk not on the headpin with working balls. And Faye Sawyer will leave 3 on the deck, no mark. Abramczyk, wood rolling. Oh, he's left with just 1 on the deck. Nice mix. Chase Abramczyk. Faye Sawyer with an 8. Chase Abramczyk with a 9 to open up. Let's talk about Faye Sawyer. She's currently second place in Class C North Division 4 and the number 8 seed in Class C North overall. She has the 26 high class average at 102.05 and the number 4 Class C high series at 606. 606. Fantastic series for Faye Sawyer. She bowled that at Academy Lanes, and I covered that match. That's a 7-10 split for Faye Sawyer on the head pin, and Chase Abramczyk with a mix of 6. 1, 6, 8, 10. Faye Sawyer with a lumberyard in front of the 7. Will it be enough? It won't be enough, unfortunately. And Chase Abramczyk sails through the void, and the void stares back. Faye Sawyer in her past 5 matches has taken 31 points, averaging 6.2 per match. She has 5 strikes in the past 5 matches, 33 spares in the past 5 matches, and 50 tens in the past 5 matches. That's a 9 for Sawyer, and a 9 for Abramczyk. A nice mix there. 17 after 2 for Sawyer, and 18 after 2 for Abramczyk. In the past 5 matches, Faye Sawyer has totaled 24-14 pins, averaging 482.8. She has 1 out of 9 matches at or over 600, and 2 out of 9 at or over 550. It's a 5 drop for Faye Sawyer. 4 horsemen left, and the 9. Chase Abramczyk to the left, the head pin drops 6, 1, 3, 6, 8. Faye Sawyer. Oh, just a little bit off to the right of the head pin, no mark. Chase Abramczyk, also off to the right of the head pin, no mark for either bowler. Faye Sawyer against her opponent today, Demetri, Dellas. Both of these bowlers are evenly matched in targeting head pins historically, but Faye faces more splits on average, which could impact the total grand totals and everything, but we'll see where that goes. So that's a 9 for Sawyer and a 7 for Abramczyk. 26 after 3 for Sawyer, 25 after 3 for Abramczyk. Faye Sawyer's longest streak of strings at or over 100 is 6. Her longest streak of matches at or over 550 is currently 1. Her longest winning streak, which is defined as greater than 7 points per match, is currently at 3. And her head pin average per match is currently 26.8 for 50, and like I mentioned earlier, her split average per match is 15. Faye Sawyer has slightly lower strike rates overall in terms of marks as well as spares. So, just for some analysis there. Neither bowler on the head pin for the opener here. Sawyer for the mark. Oh, a little bit too full in the head pin. Chase Abramczyk on the lemon drop. And leaves the 1-3-7-10. Faye Sawyer on the right on the 2-4-7 for a 10 box. Faye Sawyer is fired, and she'll leave the 2 for a 9. Abramczyk with a rough 6. 31 after 4 for Abramczyk. 35 after 4 for Faye Sawyer. Faye Sawyer recently faced off against Joe Moose de Almeida in round 10. It was an away game at Riverwalk. Unfortunately, she took 0 points in that match. It was a 450 series. 0 strikes, 3 spares, 13 tens. She had 102, 85, 88, 89, and 86. That's a left side 4 horsemen for Faye Sawyer. 6 drop. And the same thing for Chase Abramczyk. Makes my job easy. It's a duel of the horsemen. Faye Sawyer will fire first. Will she run them down? She's on the object pin, but she'll leave the 4 and the 7. She'll take the 1 and the 2. Chase Abramczyk, the opposite happens. He takes the 4 and the 7. Both bowlers aiming for the opposite ends. It's like a puzzle. That's going to be an 8 box for Faye Sawyer with that foul. And an 8 box for Chase Abramczyk. Rough half for both of these bowlers, unfortunately. Faye Sawyer 43 after 5. Chase Abramczyk 39 after 5. And those scores are confirmed. So currently, Demetri Dellas has the game by 8, and Chyrel Kneeland has the game by 11. By comparison, those are the leaders right now. 267 for Dellas, 234 for Sawyer, 234 for Kneeland, 238 for Abramczyk. Those are the grand totals as of 2.5 games here at exactly halftime on the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. I'm Steve Kelly on the call for the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour and 3-ball spare conglomerate. Great to have you along. That is Chyrel Kneeland starting out first, dropping 5. And a 3-pin spread eagle for Demetri Dellas, and unfortunately a 3 fill as well. Just threw a little bit too hard. Chyrel Kneeland. Not on the head pin, leaves 2, 1 and 9. Dellas punches the 3, leaves everything else. Faye Sawyer will take, Chyrel Kneeland will take 8. And Demetri Dellas with a rough 5 box. He comments, "That's a ball." I don't disagree. Don't disagree. So we have Chyrel Kneeland on the right. She has the 5th most spares in Class E North at 87. That's a hit pin shot for both of our bowlers. That's a 9 drop for Dellas and an 8 drop for Kneeland. Kneeland is shooting at the 5 and the 9. And she's just off of the 5, but Dellas will get the single pin spare. Chyrel Kneeland is now looking at a 10 box on the 5 pin. Chyrel Kneeland will at least clean up, though, for a 10 box, 68 and 7. 69 and a bonus for Demetri Dellas all the while. Chyrel Kneeland has the 5th Class E North total spares at 87, as I mentioned. She has the number 8th Class E North perfect box percentage at 37%, the number 8th Class E North total tens at 90, and the number 9th Class E North fewest average pins left at 62.6. It's a 3 corner shot for Chyrel Kneeland and an 8 drop and an 8 fill for Demetri Dellas. A much better ball right there. Chyrel Kneeland, this pile of pins has gone before for several bowlers today. And will Chyrel Kneeland get it? She was right on the pocket, but she leaves the 5 and the 9, unfortunately. Demetri Dellas on the 2 and the 4. All in the wood. Causes a deflection. Pesky wood got capped. So both bowlers with 8 box guarantees, 10 box maximum. Chyrel Kneeland will take a 9, and Demetri Dellas will take a 10. That's 87 and 8 for Demetri Dellas, and 77 and 8 for Chyrel Kneeland. Those scores are confirmed. Chyrel Kneeland in her past 5 matches has taken 45 points, averaging 9 per match. That's a good average. 4 strikes, 45 spares, and 44 tens in those past 5 matches. That's a 5 drop for Chyrel Kneeland. Demetri Dellas on the head pin with a split. 5, 7, 8. Let's take a look at this. Chyrel Kneeland in her past 5 matches has totaled 2450 pins in total pinfall, averaging 490 per match. And Chyrel Kneeland will leave the 2 and the 9 after a late falling 7 pin. 5, 7, 8 for Demetri Dellas. Fires. A little bit too full, a little bit too hard on that perpendicular wood, leaves the 5 and the 7. No mark for either bowler. Kneeland is fighting for an 8, 9, or 10 box right now. 3rd pitch. It'll be a 9, and it'll also be a 9 for Demetri Dellas. That's 96 and 9 for Demetri Dellas, and 86 and 9 for Chyrel Kneeland. Chyrel Kneeland, she has 6 of her 10 matches with double-digit wins. That's a great rate. Longest streak of matches at or over 100 for Chyrel Kneeland has been 4, and she has her longest winning streak of 2 for 7 points or greater per match. And that's a split for Chyrel Kneeland and a split for Demetri Dellas, another 3-pin spread eagle. It's a 5-7 for Chyrel Kneeland. No wood at all. Difficult shot. Got to start with the 5. Chyrel missed the 5 just narrowly. Demetri Dellas will 3 take 4. Not quite. 2 and 4 left on the deck. It was a great effort, great pocket shot. But it is a very difficult shot to make. Chyrel Kneeland for the 8, 9, or 10. It'll be 8. And it'll be 9 for Demetri Dellas. That is the end of the 3rd game for these 2 bowlers. And it's going to be 105 for Demetri Dellas in the 3rd for a 3-game total of 321. Chyrel Kneeland, with that 94, is at a 3-game total of 278. So keep those in the back of your mind as we move on to Faye Sawyer and Abramczyk to see how they end up matching up against that. So we'll see what their answers are to those. I'm Steve Kelly on the call for the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour and 3-ball spare conglomerate. It's great to have you along with us. It's Chase Abramczyk, who fires off to the right, drops 6, not on the headpin. Chase Abramczyk has the 1, 3, 6, 9. So Chase Abramczyk in his past 5 matches has taken 22 points, averaging 4.4 per match. On the 1-2 pocket, Faye Sawyer is waiting on the mix, 7-10, and a split for Faye Sawyer. Chase Abramczyk's off target, leaves the 1 and the 3. Chase Abramczyk in his past 5 matches has taken 11 strikes, 32 spares, and 40 tens, totaling 24-11 total pins, averaging 482 per match. Faye Sawyer takes the 10, leaves the 7. Abramczyk will take an 8, leaving the 1 and the 2 on the deck, uncontested. Sawyer versus the 7 will clean up everything for a 10, 53 and 6. And 47 and 6 for Chase Abramczyk, that is confirmed. Chase Abramczyk, 3 matches with double-digit wins out of 11. Longest streak of strings at or over 100 for Chase Abramczyk has been 2. His headpin average per match is 17.6 per 50, and that's a rough first ball. 7 on the 7 pin for Chase Abramczyk. Faye Sawyer. To the right of the headpin drops 5. 4 horsemen left in the 9. Moving Abramczyk's second ball is not much better than the first. He'll take the 4. 2 down, 8 up. Faye Sawyer just slightly off target. Leaves 4 on the deck. 1, 4, 7, 8, 9. Chase Abramczyk will have a nice out of an 8. Markless this game, 55 and 7. Faye Sawyer also markless this game. She'll take the 1 pin and leave everything else set for a 7 box. 60 and 7 for Faye Sawyer. Chase Abramczyk's split average per match is 7.6 for all of his matches bowled so far. Chase Abramczyk has been more effective in securing strikes recently, but Chyrel Kneeland dominates in spares, a key factor in maintaining the higher averages. Chase Abramczyk with half Worcester and a friend. 5 pin, the 2 pin, and the 8 pin are down. On the head pin, Faye Sawyer is 7 and 8 are down on the deck. It's a split. Chase Abramczyk on the 1-3 pocket, but just a little bit too full to take the left side of the deck. The 4 and the 7 are left. The 7 and the 8 down there for Faye Sawyer on lane 21. There's 2 pieces of wood. I'm worried about that wood in the center, but Faye Sawyer's lighter ball might make that a non-factor. We'll see. And, oh my goodness. Well, she almost touches both pins, but the 8 goes, the 7 stays. That'll be an 8 box for Chase with that foul, I believe. 63 and 8. That'll be a 9 for Faye Sawyer. And Chase comments that's an 8. They're just fixing that down there. It should be 63 as they score correctly. Yes, it is. And 69 and 8 for Faye Sawyer. That is confirmed. Chase Abramczyk, while less consistent, has flashes of potential with more frequent strikes and competitive pinfall totals. So his performance is going to depend on capitalizing on those high-impact moments. That's an 8 drop for Chase. Not on the head pin. 1 and the 3 are on the deck. Faye Sawyer's got the 1, 3, 6, 8, also not on the head pin. And Chase, he'll chase down the 3, leaving the 1. Chase Abramczyk recently faced Chris Salmons in round 9 in a home game. Took 6 points, 492 series. 4 strikes, 3 spares, 7 tens. Faye Sawyer nearly with a spare. This 8 pin is glued to the ground. And Abramczyk will take a 10 for 73 and 9. In that match against Chris Salmons, Chase Abramczyk had a 107, a 95, a 93, a 106, and a 91. And that's a 10 box for Faye Sawyer all the while. Both bowlers cleaning up. 79 and 9 for Sawyer, 73 and 9 for Abramczyk. Chase Abramczyk's home house is Boutwells Bowling Center in Concord, New Hampshire. Abramczyk fires, and he'll drop 7. The 5-6-3. Sawyer. Faye Sawyer. Full on the head pin. It's going to be a split 7-8-6-10. Abramczyk on the right triangle. Oh, he's just off. He'll take the 5, leaving the 3 and the 6. Faye Sawyer her spare shot. Just a little bit off of the object. The 7 and the 6 remain. Abramczyk. That'll be a nice 10 box for Chase Abramczyk for 83 in the 10th, but it won't be enough to best Chyrel Kneeland's 94. Faye Sawyer will take a 9, and that will put her at 88, falling to Demetri Dellas' 105. So points for Demetri Dellas and Chyrel Kneeland this game. Dellas 105, Sawyer 88, Kneeland 94, Abramczyk 83, 3-game total 321 for Dellas, 279 for Sawyer, 278 for Kneeland, 282 for Abramczyk. Current point spread is 6 points for Demetri Dellas and 4 points for Chyrel Kneeland. Chase Abramczyk has 2 as of right now. That is the story of the third game. We're going to be moving on to the fourth game here at the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. I'm Steve Kelly on the call. Great to have you along. We're just briefly resetting here for the third game. Bowlers are just getting ready up there, and I'm getting ready back here. That'll be Chyrel Kneeland on your left in the black and Demetri Dellas on your right in the black. So Demetri Dellas, he has the number 3 ACST North High single at 159, the number 4 ACST North High series at 630, the number 2 ACST North perfect box percentage at 56. And that's a 6 drop and a split for Demetri Dellas. That's the 7-10-4-2. Chyrel Kneeland, opening pitch. To the right of the head pin, drops 4. Demetri Dellas is off target for the spare, leaves the 2 and the 10. Chyrel Kneeland, 1, 2, 4, 7, 9, 10. And Chyrel Kneeland, will she get the mix? Well, kind of, but not really. The 7 pin stays, and Demetri Dellas with a rough 8 box to start out. Head pin shot and a split. Demetri Dellas, 16 for 31 in the head pin today, 11 splits. Chyrel Kneeland, 13 for 31 in the head pin today with 7 splits, and that's a 10 box for Chyrel Kneeland. Demetri Dellas has a pile of superlatives, really. If we start talking about Class C North, he has the number 1 high class average, 112.75, the number 1 Class C North high single, 159. The 6th Class C total strikes at 27, the number 9 average strike fill, 885. Number 1 Class I Series, 630. You know, I could keep going on and on. That's a 7 drop for Demetri Dellas, 1, 2, 4. Chyrel Kneeland to the right of the head pin. Working ball. Dellas. Oh, that ball dropped early. It was just the way I heard it connect with the lumber. I knew something was wrong. I think he released it early and he was off to the right. Wild pitch. No mark. Chyrel Kneeland, 1, 2, 4, 8, 6, 10. She's off to the right. Right through the hole where the first ball went. Dellas will take 8. 2 8s in a row, 16 after 2. And that'll be a 7 box for Chyrel Kneeland after a piece of wood comes back to take an extra pin. 17 after 2 for Kneeland, 16 after 2 for Demetri Dellas. So Demetri Dellas also is the number 7th Class C North in total spares, 113. The 6th in terms of average spare fill at 6.4, and that's a strike by Demetri Dellas, a fast, mean strike. Those pins had a family, man. It's a strike for Demetri Dellas in the 3rd. It's 26 in a bonus after 3, and Chyrel Kneeland is off to the left side Candlepin corner. We'll get a replay of that that strike by Demetri Dellas in just a moment. Demetri Dellas is number 1 at perfect box percentage at 56 in Class C North. Number 8th in Class C for total 10s, 117, and number 1 in Class fewest average pins left at 39.22. Not counting this match, of course. And Chyrel will just leave a few more on the deck, the 5, 6, 3, 10. And again, we'll show you that replay in just a moment as soon as this box concludes. Kneeland get a nice 9 box. Here's the strike. It's coming up here. It happens fast, so blink and you'll miss it. Watch how fast this release is. And it's slowed down even, but that was the strike by Demetri Dellas. So here's the follow-up to that strike. Dellas. Right of the head pin, drops 6. 1. Ooh. Well, the 3 pin fell into the 1 pin and slid the 1 pin. But Chyrel Kneeland nearly takes a strike. Drops all but the 10. 1, 4, 7 for Demetri Dellas. It could be a spare on strike. Oh, and he caps the wood. It's a 7 fill. 7 fill on the strike. Kneeland, this is our first headman shot of this game. That'll be... Oh, don't hurt it now. That was an awesome spare by Chyrel Kneeland. We'll get that in just a second. And that's a 9-box for Demetri Dellas. Let's take a look at this again. Watch how very gently that pin is coerced to go down. Everything goes around and just nudges it down. No problem. Don't hurt him. We don't like violence in Candlepin bowling. Demetri Dellas on a split on the head pin, 4-6-3. Chyrel Kneeland's working on a spare. She fires. To the right of the head pin, pin still mixing, drop of 6 and a fill of 6. Left side, 4 horsemen. Dellas will sail through the center void. Would have been a great strike ball if it was a first ball. But he's still stuck with that 3-pin split, the 4-6-3. Chyrel Kneeland on the 4 horsemen left side. She'll take 2, leave 2, leaving the 1 and the 2. The Lawrence Welk special, a 1 and a 2. It's an 8-box for Dellas, leaving the goalposts. Kneeland with an 8-box for 50 after 5. Demetri Dellas also 50 after 5. 2 diverging paths, 1 destination. Confirmed, those scores are 4.5 game total of 371 for Demetri Dellas and 4.5 game total of 328 for Chyrel Kneeland. That is the story of the first half of the 4th game for Demetri Dellas and Chyrel Kneeland, respectively. So here we go. We got Faye Sawyer on the right and Chase Abramczyk on the left. And Faye Sawyer fires first, and she's off to the right of the head pin. And Chase Abramczyk with the working ball. Not on the head pin, it was the 1-7-9-10-4. Faye Sawyer on the follow-up on the head pin, and it's a spare by Faye Sawyer. We'll get a replay of that in just a moment. Chase Abramczyk's just off a little bit, leaves the 1, the 7, and the 10. Get that replay in just a moment. Like I said, 1-7-10 for Chase Abramczyk, 7-box. Let's see if we get this on replay. It was a pile of pins to the left. She took out the right side Candlepin corner on the first ball, but watch that. Right on it, and everything goes. That was the spare for Faye Sawyer. That gesture by Faye Sawyer was very humorous. She was like, really? Why couldn't that be the first ball? But anyways, she's got a spare. She's on the board. She's going to fill a spare. Here we go. Faye Sawyer. On the 1-3 pocket, drops 8. That's a great fill of 8 by Faye Sawyer. Chase Abramczyk to the left of the head pin. Faye Sawyer on the 4 and the 7. For a spare. Could be a double. Oh, I think it stays on. I think it's good. Yep, she says barely stays on, and I agree. I'm not a judge, but I agree. Abramczyk will take the 6, leaving the center diamond. And a sleeper in the back along with the 10 pin. 4 down, 6 up. And it'll take everything but 2 for an 8-box. 15 after 2 for Abramczyk. Compare that to 17 after 2 for Chyrel Kneeland. 28 and a bonus for Sawyer in the second. Compare that to 16 after 2 for Demetri Dellas. Faye Sawyer with double spares. Faye Sawyer. Her home house is Boutwells in Concord, New Hampshire. Last year, her home house was Lakeside Lanes in Manchester, New Hampshire. Sawyer fires. On the head pin on the 1-2 pocket, drops 7. 7 fill. Chase Abramczyk, that's a head pin shot and a split. That's a 7, 7 down, 3 up, 5-6-10 for Chase Abramczyk. Faye Sawyer's got the right side triangle, the 5-6-3. And will Faye Sawyer get it? That's 3 in a row for Faye Sawyer. 3 in a row. That's $50 in bonus money if this were the Channel 5 WCVB Don Gillis show. Chase Abramczyk just having a heck of a time out there. Some of his mixes have just been really gnarly, I gotta say. So it's left with the 5 and the 10. And it will be an 8-box. Let's look at that spare again. For Faye Sawyer, Chase Abramczyk 23 after 3. There it goes. That was the triangle going down. Chase Abramczyk 23 after 3 confirmed, and 45 and a bonus for Faye Sawyer in the third confirmed. Let's see what Faye Sawyer can do here. Faye Sawyer, remember, she threw a 600 at Academy Lanes. She has it in her. And she drops 6. 6 fill, not a bad fill. Abramczyk off to the left of the head pin, left side Candlepin corner. 1, 6, 8, 10 for Faye Sawyer. She fires. Oh, she was on the object pin. It was a great shot, but just a little bit too full. Leaves the 6 and the 10. That ends the mark streak. And Abramczyk on the 1-3 pocket. Will everything go? He's left with a 2. And Faye Sawyer will take a 9 for her efforts. Abramczyk 9 or 10. It'll be a 9. Abramczyk 32 after 4. Faye Sawyer 60 after 4. This is definitely a standout game for Faye Sawyer right now. Those great fills on those spares, followed up by additional spares, have really been shotgunning her into the stratosphere in terms of overall pins. And it's Faye Sawyer in the head pin. 6 drop and a split. Abramczyk left side Candlepin corner again. 7, 8, 10, 6 for Faye Sawyer. That's going to be a rough attempt. Let's look at that down there. 6, 7, 8, 10. Piece of wood. Got to play the left wood in some way. Hopefully you can get like a... either red line it to go right and hope you get a left side bounce or try to cap it. I don't know what it's going to be. She kind of splits the difference and takes 2, leaves 2, 6, 7. Abramczyk will go to the right and with the center diamond and the 8. Faye Sawyer's got 8, 9, or 10 for a potential 70 half. It'll be a 69 half with that 9 box. And Abramczyk, he'll take an 8 for 40 after 5. That's the end of the first half of the 4th game for all of our bowlers here on the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. 50 after 5 for Dellas, 69 after 5 for Sawyer. Sawyer up in the game by 19 over Dellas. Chyrel Kneeland 50 after 5, up in the game by 10 over Chase Abramczyk's 40 after 5. And those scores are all confirmed across the board. And we're starting off already. Oh my goodness, that was quick. Chyrel Kneeland to the right of the head pin. We got Demetri Dellas on deck. Starting out now. Nearly a strike. 9 drop. Chyrel Kneeland for the spare. And she'll leave 1, 3, 7. Demetri Dellas single pin shot on the 7 pin for a spare. And he's right all over it. That's a spare, and 60 after 6 for Demetri Dellas. For the 10 box for Chyrel Kneeland, it's going to be a 9. Hard-fought 9. Demetri Dellas, 19 for 36 on the head pin today with 12 splits. Chyrel Kneeland, 14 for 36 on the head pin today with 7 splits. Demetri Dellas has totaled a staggering 62, and Mark Phil's averaging 6.2 per mark. Chyrel Kneeland is averaging higher, 7 per mark, but has only totaled 21. And Kneeland, Chyrel Kneeland, off to the left, left of the head pin. Oh, and Demetri Dellas, yikes. He said it was almost a $5 lemon drop, but it's a 2 fill after all said and done. Couldn't count there for a second. Oh, and no mark for either bowler. Chyrel Kneeland's head pin average per match is 18.5 for 50. Her split average per match is 9.2. Compared to her opponent, Chyrel Kneeland's opponent, both bowlers target head pins at similar rates, but Chyrel Kneeland encounters more splits, potentially impacting her ability to capitalize on frames. That's a 9 box for both bowlers. Chyrel Kneeland is more consistent with better averages, milestones, and points taken per match compared to Chase Abramczyk. Her ability to convert spares and maintain steady performance over time makes her the stronger competitor overall, but as we all know, it's all about your performance in the moment down in the lanes. Chyrel is to the right of the head pin, and Demetri Dellas with pins still mixing. It's going to be the 4 and the 6 with a wiggly 6. 6 is still wiggling. Doesn't want to fall. 1, 2, 4, 8 for Chyrel Kneeland. She's off to the left, and Demetri Dellas, though, will get a nice... He owes a football field some money. He'll take down the goalposts for a spare. Chyrel Kneeland is shooting for a 10 box on the 1 and the 2. The Lawrence Welk, a 1 and a 2. That'll be a 10 for Chyrel Kneeland. Let's see if we can get that spare queued up here. Look at that. The 6 pin's still wiggling. Got to play the wood on the 4. to get the walkover, and he gets the spin over the walkover, and that's the story of that spare for Demetri Dellas. Chyrel Kneeland. Kneeland on lane 22 to the left of the head pin, drops 6. Demetri Dellas on the head pin, drops, mixes down 8. So it's a 4-horseman right side for Chyrel Kneeland, 1, 3, 6, 10, and the 2 and the 5 for Demetri Dellas. Spare shots for both. Just have to aim it. Chyrel Kneeland is a little full on the head pin, takes the 1 and the 2, leaves the 6 and the 10. Dellas. Oh, and he's just off of the 2 by millimeters. Takes the 5. No mark for either bowler. Kneeland, 8, 9, or 10. It'll be 10. And a 10 for Dellas as well. Chyrel Kneeland recently faced Kristen Poirier at Boutwells Bowling Center in round 10. It was a home game. She took 10 points, average with a 491 series, a 93, a 106, a 104, a 91, and 97 with 1 strike, 9 spares, and 12 tens, 18 headpin shots, 11 splits. I also covered that match. Check that out. That's a 7. That's a 8 drop and a split for Chyrel Kneeland. Oop, not a split. 7 pin fell late after I looked away. And Dellas, not on the head pin. The head pin is actually the only thing that stays up down there. Both bowlers with single pin shots for spares, with some helpful wood to either guide or assist or provide moral support, whatever it is. Chyrel Kneeland fires first, spare for Kneeland, and spare for Dellas. And I think I can capture both in the same replay. Love that. All right, let's take a look at that. Kaboom and kaboom. Dueling spares for both of our bowlers. They're both with 1 bonus ball to conclude this game. Chyrel Kneeland will fire first. After the head pin, it looks like 3, 4. It'll be a 4 drop, 4 fill, and a 5 fill for Demetri Dellas. Let's take a look at the scores for these two bowlers. Again, it's not head-to-head. 114 game 4 for Demetri Dellas, 4 game total of 435. 102 game 4 for Chyrel Kneeland, 2 marks, 4 game total of 380. Demetri Dellas had 4 marks in that game with that 114. The 2 fill on the spare was really kind of what was sort of the sore spot, but that just happens sometimes. So we're going to move back to Faye Sawyer and Chase Abramczyk here on the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. Again, I'm Steve Kelly on the call. It's great to have you along. Chase Abramczyk fires first. Not on the head pin. Faye Sawyer on the left, in the black. It is also to the left of the head pin. Or to the left of the head pin. Chase Abramczyk was the right of the head pin. Sawyer has a 6-pack. Chase Abramczyk with a spare. A nice spare by Chase Abramczyk. He wasn't on the object, but he got it. That's his first mark of this game. Faye Sawyer on the 6-pack will take 3 as 6. 5, 6, 3 for Faye Sawyer. Faye Sawyer for the 10 box. And it will be 8 for Faye Sawyer, 77 and 6. Chase Abramczyk is at 50 and a bonus after 6. Unless here was that spare of his. Look at that, he fired. He wasn't on the object pin, but the wood came around or tapped the head pin in just the right way for it to go. So Chase Abramczyk on lane 22. Oh, it's going to be a decent mix of... A mix of 6. Wasn't on the head pin, but it didn't matter. Faye Sawyer was on the head pin. 7 drop. 1, 3, 9, 10 for Chase Abramczyk, and he's right all over it for a spare. Faye Sawyer could have a potential similar situation. Let's see what happens. Will it go? Oh, and the 2-pin stays. Rough goings. Stopping for a check while that piece of wood is checked on. Let's get the replay while we're waiting for that lane maintenance. Chase Abramczyk's spare right there, the 1, the 3, the 9, and the 10. He fires right on it, and it goes. That was the replay for Chase Abramczyk's spare. Thank you, Steve Rogers, for checking out the wood, and I was pretty sure mentally that that was in play, and it is. Faye Sawyer We'll take the 10. 87 and 7 for Faye Sawyer. 66 and a bonus in 7 for Chase Abramczyk. Here at the bottom of the 4th. The only one that strikes today has been Demetri Dellas of the Dellas family. They own Boutwells Bowling Center. Inside job. And that's a 6 fill for Chase Abramczyk and a banana split. And Faye Sawyer drops 6. On the banana, Chase Abramczyk will take half of the banana and leave the rest. This is the banana split. The 4, 7, 6, 10 leave. The spread eagle minus the 2 and the 3. And Faye Sawyer leaving the 3 and the 8 on the deck. No mark for either bowler. Chase Abramczyk will take a 9. I believe that stayed on. 3, 8 for Faye Sawyer for a 10 box. 8 box guaranteed. She'll take 9. 96 and 8 for Sawyer. 81 and 8 for Abramczyk. And those scores are confirmed. They're confirmed all around. Abramczyk 10 for 38 on the headpin with 7 splits. Faye Sawyer 19 for 38 with 14 splits. And that's a split for Chase Abramczyk right there, a 4-pin spread eagle. Down the center and the back talons. And Faye Sawyer on the 3-pin and takes a few, leaves a bunch. 4 down, 6 up. Chase Abramczyk on the eagle. And he's off to the right, takes the 6 and the 10. Nothing else. Faye Sawyer, 1, 2, 4, 7, 6, 9. She's right on the headpin. Leaves the 6 and the 7. A little bit too full. Chase Abramczyk will settle for a 6, unfortunately. 87 and 9. Faye Sawyer on the 6 and the 7. She'll take 9 for 105 and 9 for Faye Sawyer and 87 and 9 for Chase Abramczyk. Faye Sawyer, when she faced Joe Moose de Almeida, she had a 450 series with a 102, 85, 88, 89, and 86 with 0 strikes, 3 spares, and 13 tens. And that's Chase Abramczyk off the right of the headpin. Faye Sawyer on the headpin drops 5, 7, 4, 6, 3 on the deck. It's a split. Abramczyk. Oh, he's on it. Will the 5 cooperate? It will not. It was the right second ball. Kingpin doesn't always go. Faye Sawyer! Thunderous crowd response to that spare for Faye Sawyer. We'll get a replay on that in just a second. Faye Sawyer, Chase Abramczyk will get a 10 though. But look at this again by Faye Sawyer right there. That's spare, that mark. Watching this in slightly slow motion, but check that out. 3, 6, 4, 7. They all go. And look at that. That reaction from Faye Sawyer said it all. So she's going to be throwing one more bonus ball. Faye Sawyer's final ball of the 4th game. Off the right of the headpin. It'll be a 3 fill. She was expecting a 2 fill apparently, and she got a 3, so she got 1 bonus fill. Okay, end of the 4th. Demetri Dellas falls to... Demetri Dellas falls to Faye Sawyer 114 to 118 by 4 pins. 4-game total of 435 for Demetri Dellas to 397 for Faye Sawyer. Chyrel Kneeland will take the 4th game 102 to Chase Abramczyk's 97, 380 for Kneeland, 379 for Abramczyk. And we're going to move on to the 5th and final game now here on the tour. Just getting set up here. It's going to be Demetri Dellas on the right. From the rear view, at least. And then Chyrel Kneeland will be on the left. Again, from the rear view. We'll be swapping between rear and front view-facing cameras just for the sake of variety. Demetri Dellas will fire first. On the headpin and on an instant strike. A microwave strike for Demetri Dellas. His face Sawyer goes, listen, you. You know, half the fun of Candlepin matches is just the banter, and some of the stuff is priceless. That's a lemon drop for Chyrel Kneeland all the while. She punches the 6, and it wasn't on a mark, so it's only a $1 donation to Candlepin Spur Cancer, but it's a 5 if you're on a mark. I got to update that graphic at some point. So that was a strike by Demetri Dellas. We'll get a replay of that in just a moment. And on the 1-2 pocket on the spare ball, 5, 7, 9, 10 for Chyrel Kneeland. On the object, pin in the object pocket, but just kind of, pins are just kind of dead in the back row. 6-box guarantee, 10-box maximum for Chyrel Kneeland. And she'll take it out for a 10-box, though. Let's look at Demetri Dellas' fast-moving strike right here. And it was a quick one, folks. We slow these replays down a little bit so you can see, but look at that. On the 1-3 pocket, it explodes. So that was a story for Demetri Dellas right there. Perfect so far in the 5th. Demetri Dellas has had 3 strikes today. On the head pin there and a split. My goodness, 5-drop. 7, 8, 10, 4, 5. Demetri Dellas is the only one with strikes today. Chyrel Kneeland now on lane 21. To the right of the head pin. 1, 2, 5, 8, 9. To complete this. Oh my goodness! A hockey shot for Demetri Dellas, a spare on strike. You bet we're gonna have a replay of that. Stay tuned for that. We're gonna have a shot of the night right there. As people all look at me, they go, "You got a replay of that, right?" I'm like, "Sure do." Chyrel Kneeland with a working 3rd ball. 6-box or greater. It's going to be a hard-fought 9. Let's look at this shot for Demetri Dellas. Again, look at this. 7, 8, 10, 4, 5. No wood. No wood. Look at that go. He connected with, oh my goodness, the 4-9 pocket, and that was what happened. Beautiful shot by Demetri Dellas. Beautiful shot. And he drops 8. He's kind of finding a spark here in the 5th. 38 after 2, 8 drop. Chyrel Kneeland is off to the left of the head pin. Center diamond and back right Candlepin corner, 3 drop. It's the 8 and the 10 for Demetri Dellas. Let's see if he can make the magic happen twice. There's wood down there. And it goes! That's another one for Demetri Dellas. He's making it look easy, putting on a clinic of marks down there. 48 and a bonus after 3. Chyrel Kneeland's trying to match, but hits the 1-2 pocket, but leaves the bucket of 5 on the right. The 5, 6, 3, 9, 10. We'll show that replay in just a moment, too. Demetri Dellas now just playing for highlight reels right now. Chyrel Kneeland will get a 7. Let's take a look at this shot once again. The 8 and the 10, there's some wood along the 10. Playing the wood along the 10 was the operative shot. Demetri Dellas knew that, too, and he fires on it, redlines it, and sends it to the left. So let's see what happens here with Demetri Dellas filling a spare's 3rd mark in a row. It's energized by this. The right of the head pin, maybe a little too energized. 4 fill. He was off the right of the head pin. 1, 2, 4, 7, 6, 10. Chyrel Kneeland on the head pin. Oops. On the head pin and a 6 drop, but we've seen that shot go. Dellas is off target to the right. Chyrel Kneeland's got the 4, 6, 3, 7. We've seen the shot made before. Let's see if it goes. 4, 6, 3, 7 for Chyrel Kneeland. Spare attempt. Oh, and it was the right, well, kind of the right idea. She was left of the object pin, and that can go. You just have to hit at the right angle at the right velocity. That's an 8-box for Dellas. 60 after 4. Kneeland for an 8-box guarantee, 10-box maximum. It'll be a 9. Split the difference. 35 after 4 for Chyrel Kneeland. Demetri Dellas, 24 for 44 on the head pin today, 15 splits. Chyrel Kneeland, 16 for 44 on the head pin with 8 splits. Demetri Dellas has totaled 99 in bonus fills, averaging 6.6 per mark. That's a 6 drop, 1, 2, 7, 10. Chyrel Kneeland on the head pin. And that's a split, 7 drop, 5, 10, 9. Dellas on the 1, 2, 7, 10, and he'll play the 10, I guess. That's a bold strategy, Cotton. We'll see if it pays off for him. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. 1, 2, 7 for Dellas. 5, 9, 10 for Chyrel Kneeland. And he punches, excuse me, not Dellas. Chyrel Kneeland punches the 5, leaves the 9 and the 10. Dellas will take a 9. Hard fought 9, oddly enough. 69 and 5 for Demetri Dellas. Cooling off a little bit in the 4th and the 5th, with that 4 fill on the 3rd mark being kind of the off-ramp. And that 9 box for Chyrel Kneeland puts her at 44 after 5. So a 3 mark 69 after 5. Very nice for Demetri Dellas in the 5th. And 44 after 5 for Chyrel Kneeland. 504, 4.5 game total for Demetri Dellas. 424, 4.5 game total for Chyrel Kneeland. And we're going to be down here resetting for Faye Sawyer on the right and Chase Abramczyk on your left. Chase Abramczyk, who very graciously let me know the pronunciation of his last name just minutes before we went on the air, because I took a stab and I asked him, I said, and I won't repeat what I thought it was, and I was wildly off. So now we know for certain. We have a reference point, confirmed by Chase himself. Faye Sawyer drops 6, and Sawyer is to the right of the headpin. No mark for, no strike for either bowler, no headpin shot for either bowler. Faye Sawyer for the spare. And she punches the headpin, and it phases through everything else. And Abramczyk will punch one as well, leaving a 6-pack. Check his ID. 2 balls in. 6-pack. And Faye Sawyer will sweep for a 10. Should have done that on the second ball, really. And Abramczyk will take a 5 after 1. Faye Sawyer commenting she thought she had that spare, and yeah, I mean, it was the right idea. Sometimes this is just how this is the nature of Candlepin bowling. So the only bowler with strikes has been Demetri Dellas tonight. Every other bowler has been just trying to figure it out. Oh boy, 2 drop for Abramczyk on the 4-7, and Faye Sawyer on the first ball leaves the 1-2 4-7 10. Faye Sawyer will fire first. Her second ball for a spare. She leaves the 1 and the 10 on the deck. And Abramczyk on the headpin leaves the 3 and the 6 for his efforts. No mark for either bowler. Both bowlers are shooting for 8 boxes, 9 boxes, or 10 boxes with an 8-box guarantee. Faye Sawyer will fire first on the 1 and the 10. She's just off. That'll be an 8. Abramczyk will take a 9. 14 after 2 for Abramczyk, 18 after 2 for Faye Sawyer. Faye Sawyer, opening pitch of the 3rd frame. On the headpin, light hit, split, 7-8-10-4-5, and Chase Abramczyk still trying to figure out that headpin shot on the first ball. He's only on the 7. Here comes Faye Sawyer's spare shot. She's on the 4-8 pocket. That was the magical pocket that Demetri Dellas was shooting at with no wood when he made that shot, but Faye Sawyer, despite hitting the same location, just didn't have the velocity to get the sweep. And will be a 10 box for Faye Sawyer? Not quite. It'll be a 9. Chase Abramczyk will take a 7 for 21 after 3. Faye Sawyer, 27 after 3. And all these scores are confirmed. Faye Sawyer, 0 strikes, 7 spares. Chase Abramczyk, 0 strikes, 5 spares. Faye Sawyer, opening ball on the headpin, mixing down a 5-7-10 Matsusi special Woolworth splits. And Chase Abramczyk, there's a headpin shot, a 9 and a 9 drop, 5 pin. The 5 pin is left. That's what I'm trying to say. The Matsusi special is also what that 5-7-10 split is sometimes called. Just for fun facts. And Faye Sawyer will sail off to the right of the 5 pin. Abramczyk on the single pin 5 pin spare, and finally there's a mark for Chase Abramczyk. He's all over it. Faye Sawyer will leave the Matsusi special uncontested for a 7 for 34 after 4. Chase Abramczyk 31 and a bonus after 4. I might be able to actually see Chase Abramczyk's spare right there. Look at that. Right down the center. A perfect ball. And Faye Sawyer, bucket of 5 on the right side on the head pin. Not a split at least. Chase Abramczyk on his spare fill to the left of the head pin. 5 fill. 4 horseman right and the 7. Excuse me, 4 fill. There's a sleeper. 4 fill, correction. And on the bucket of 5, Sawyer leaves a sleeper in the back on the 9. And Abramczyk will take a few and leave 4 on the deck. 1, 3, 7, 10. Sawyer for the 10 box. Single pin on the 9 pin. She'll leave the 9. That's 43 after 5 for Sawyer. Compare that to 69 after 5 for Demetri Dellas. Chase Abramczyk will take the 7 and leave everything else for 7 box. 42 after 5 for Abramczyk compared to Chyrel Kneeland's 44 after 5. And that is the situation as of 5 boxes into the 5th and final game with 1/2 left for all of our bowlers. Demetri Dellas has the total by 64 and the game by 26. Chyrel Kneeland has the total by 3 and the game by 2. That is the current situation in the matchups. The 5th and final game is potentially worth 6 points, as you can take 2 points for the 5th game and 4 points for grand total pinfall if you can wrest it back. But Faye Sawyer has a mountain to climb, 64 pins to reclaim, but Chyrel Kneeland is only up in the total by 3. Chase Abramczyk could take that back. So that's the situation. Chyrel Kneeland not on the head pin. Off to the left. Demetri Dellas, monster half. And a monster first ball there. Split for Dellas. Chyrel Kneeland is a little bit full. Leaves the 4 and the 7 on the deck. No mark. Dellas for the spare. 3, 5, 10. Punches the 5, leaves the 3 and the 10. Kneeland on the 4, 7, 10 box, and a 9 box for Demetri Dellas. 2 quick releases in succession on the 3rd ball. Chyrel Kneeland 54 after 6, 78 after 6 for Demetri Dellas. All scores confirmed, always around. It's now Chyrel Kneeland's time on lane 22. She fires. To the left of the head pin, dropping 6, dropping 7, 1, 6, 9. Demetri Dellas with a split, 5, 6, 10. Kind of a familiar shot. It's funny about Boutwells, you kind of see these leaves that kind of come up quite frequently. Be interesting to... I know this is something that will probably take like an entire weekend. But first of all, that's a spare by Chyrel Kneeland. Finish that thought in a second. And Demetri Dellas punches the 6-10, leaves the 5. Get a replay on Chyrel Kneeland's spare in just a moment. And that'll be a 9 for Demetri Dellas. So let's look at Chyrel Kneeland's spare. Oh, my apologies. I thought I pressed the button, did not. Okay, well, let that one get away, but that was a great bouquet of pins spare by Chyrel Kneeland in the center. Almost went perfect on the replay hotkey today, but missed at least one. Chyrel Kneeland's on spare. And that's a split and a 6 drop for Chyrel Kneeland and a spare and a banana split for Demetri Dellas. A banana split. Just for you, Casey. That's what Faye Sawyer said. Just relaying that message to you. 4, 7, 6, 10 leave. That's the spread eagle minus the 2 or the 3. That is the banana split. So Faye Sawyer on the 7, 8, 9, 5 for a spare. Difficult shot. She'll play the wood, leaving the 7, 8, 9. And Demetri Dellas will take the 10 and leave the 7, the 4, and the 6. 7, 8, 9 for Kneeland for a 10 box. It'll be a 7 and an 8 box for Demetri Dellas. 95 and 8 for Demetri Dellas and 77 after 8 for Chyrel Kneeland. Again, Demetri Dellas, the only one with strikes today, and far and away the most spares. 3 strikes, 12 spares. Demetri Dellas is 27 for 48 on the head pin with 18 splits. Chyrel Kneeland, 23 for 45. I'm sorry, excuse me, 18 for 48 on the head pin with 10 splits. 7 drop for Demetri Dellas on the head pin. Kneeland has the 4 horseman left side and the 10. No wood for either bowler. Chyrel to the left takes the 4, leaves the 1, 2, 7, 10. Demetri Dellas punches the 4, leaves the 7 and the 8. And Kneeland says, what the heck? 6 box and a 9 box for Demetri Dellas. Recently, Demetri Dellas faced Eric Zykowski at Lakeside Lanes in round 9. In a away game, he took 2 points with a 493 series, 111, 98, 96, 81, and 107 with 0 strikes, 9 spares, and 14 tens with 27 headpin shots and 16 splits. Kneeland with a 4 horseman right side now, not in the headpin. Demetri Dellas to the right of the headpin, 4 horseman left side in the 6 and the 9. Demetri Dellas went to Greece in September 2024. A lot of fantastic pictures there on his Facebook. And no mark for either bowler. Chyrel Kneeland 8, 9, or 10 on the 1 and the 9. I'll take a 9 and a 7 for Demetri Dellas. So that's the end of the match for these two bowlers. That's with a 111 for Demetri Dellas, a 5-game total of 546. And with that 92 from Chyrel Kneeland, that's a 5-game total of 472. We'll assess the totals and everything as we close out here. Final half of the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour, the final quarter of the 5th game here. So, oops, I'm sorry. Click the wrong thing. Entirely click the wrong thing. It'll be Chase Abramczyk on the right. Faye Sawyer on the left. Chase Abramczyk with a bucket of 5 on the headpin. Faye Sawyer to the right of the headpin. Drops 4, I believe. So I'd like to thank our ACST committee members, including our league commissioner, Danny Finn, our ACST treasurers for Class C, Anthony Caron, for Class E, Maurice Perry, our statistician, Micah Imperato, the staff at Boutwells Bowling Center in Concord, New Hampshire, always very accommodating in every sense of the word. I'd like to thank Steve Abodeely for some of the B-roll and photography you see in between the live action. Check out stabodeely.com, stabodeely.com for his work. Always like to thank viewers like you for watching. Wouldn't do this without you. That's a 7-box for Abramczyk and a 9-box for Sawyer. 49 after 6 for Abramczyk, 52 after 6 for Sawyer. I'd like to thank you for watching. I hope this was a pleasant viewing experience for you. If you like what you saw and want to see more, I invite you to strike, comment, and subscribe to the Candlepin Bowling Worlds, like the Atlantic Candlepin Single Tour, Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour page on Facebook and YouTube, the Candlepin Chat group on Facebook, the Candlepin Bowling Network channel on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, Candlepin Corner on YouTube, at Candlepin Bowling on TikTok, Outrun the Bear on Facebook and Instagram. That's a 9-drop for Chase Abramczyk, leaving the 5. There's also Alley Chat on YouTube and alleychat.net. There's the Candlepin Bowling channel on YouTube, Wolfman12395 on YouTube for classic Candlepin matches specifically. There's the Ripping the Rack podcast and the Approach podcast. Tony Levesque on YouTube, Charlie Collins on TikTok, Josh Daly on TikTok. Check all those out. And of course, 3-Ball Spare Conglomerate on YouTube. And look at that. Shot by Faye Sawyer. Awesome spare by Faye Sawyer. And that's a 9-box for Chase Abramczyk. Faye Sawyer, 62 in a ball after 7. Chase Abramczyk, 58 after 7. Talking about Boutwells Bowling Center at 152 North State Street at Concord, New Hampshire. 24 lanes, 12 on each side. Boutwells Bowling Center use manual scoring and manual lane resetting, with CompuScore being the software used here. Oldie but a goodie. Sawyer on a spare. She's on the 1-2 pocket. Drops 5, drops 6. 6 fill. Right side diamond. 5-10 for Chase Abramczyk. Let's see if he can get it. He's just sails between the 5 and the 10. Boutwells was formerly owned by former WNDS Candlepin Stars and Strikes co-host Dan Murphy, who passed away in 2022. And on the diamond, Faye Sawyer says diamonds are not a girl's best friend, and especially not true in Candlepin bowling. No mark for either bowler, and that's an 8-box for Chase Abramczyk. And it'll be a 9-box or 10-box for Faye Sawyer on the 5-pin. And that'll be a 9 for Faye Sawyer, 77 and 8 for Faye Sawyer, 66 and 8 for Chase Abramczyk. Yes, didn't show you this yet, but yes, we're at Boutwells Bowling Center in Concord, New Hampshire. Check it out on 152 North State Street in Concord, New Hampshire. All wood approaches, all wood lanes. CompuScore, fantastic house run by the Dellas family. Demetri Dellas is part of that team. Chase Abramczyk not on the headpin on the 7-pin. And Faye Sawyer on the 1-3 pocket leaves the 5 and the 7. I thought the 5 was going to fall, but it will be a split. Chase Abramczyk 15 for 49. The head pin today with 9 splits, and will be a spare. Pins are still mixing. 6 falls with a 4 fall. Not quite. It was looking good for a moment. Everything was in motion on the deck. Faye Sawyer caps the wood, and it avoids all the pins. No mark for either bowler. Faye Sawyer mark should have been a strike anyway. And Chase Abramczyk, ooh, and the wood deflects everything for a 9 box. And Faye Sawyer will take 1 for a 9. 7 pin left on the deck. 86 and 9 for Faye Sawyer. 75 and 9 for Chase Abramczyk. So yes, check out the world of Candlepin Bowling. There's 3-ball spare, Candlepin Corner, Candlepin Bowling Network, at Candlepin Bowling on TikTok. There's the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour page. And we'll have even more for you in just a little bit here. Chase Abramczyk to the left of the head pin again on the 7 pin. Something just not working out down there for him. Faye Sawyer on the 1-3 pocket. Nice hit. 8 drop. 4-7. And Abramczyk's off to the right this time. Overcorrects a little bit. Leaves the center diamond. 1-5-2-3. Faye Sawyer for the spare, and she takes that 7. Leaves the 4. And that's a 10 box for Chase. He'll finish with an 85 and a 5-game total of 464, and that's a 9 box for Faye Sawyer. And that is it, folks. That is the match. End of regulation. And let's assess everything here. So in the 5th game, Demetri Dellas with 111 takes the 5th game against Faye Sawyer's 95. Demetri Dellas 5-game total of 546 to Faye Sawyer's 492. Chyrel Kneeland after 5 games with that 92 in the 5th has had a 5-game total of 472 over Chase Abramczyk's 5-game total of 464 with his 85 in the 5th. And before we count the final total pinfall, Demetri Dellas has 8 points. Faye Sawyer has 2. Chyrel Kneeland has 8 points. Chase Abramczyk has 2. And now let's check out the final totals as the main computer processes those final totals. That's not the final totals. These are the final totals. So to finish it all out, Demetri Dellas will take 12 points. Faye Sawyer will take 2. Chyrel Kneeland will take 12 points. Chase Abramczyk will take 2. And Demetri Dellas firmly in the driver's seat until the 4th game, but then came back in the 5th, and he had the total with a 546 to Faye Sawyer's 492. Chyrel Kneeland had the points for the 1st game, the 3rd game, the 4th game, and the 5th game, as well as the total, her 472, which was just barely victorious over Chase Abramczyk's 464. Got her the additional 4 points, so she'll take 12 to his 2. And then in the marks department, Demetri Dellas reigns undefeated in terms of the strikes. 3 strikes to everyone else's none. And then he had 12 spares, also number 1. In terms of the perfect box percentage, it was really honestly a bit lower numbers across the board, but Demetri Dellas came out on top with a 42%. In terms of the head pin, we have Demetri Dellas at 56%, 28 for 50. Followed by Faye Sawyer, 27 for 50, 56 to 54% respectively. And then on the head pin, 19 for 50 for Chyrel Kneeland and 15 for 50 for Chase Abramczyk. In terms of fill totals, though, this is kind of the big one. Demetri Dellas totaled 99, averaging 6.6 per mark. And the only one who really kind of came close was Chyrel Kneeland, averaging 6.2 per mark, and Chase Abramczyk averaging 6.3 per mark, but their totals were way lower in the fill totals. So after everything has been worked out in terms of the wins and losses, Demetri Dellas will move to 96 and 44. Faye Sawyer will move to 76 and 78. Chyrel Kneeland will move to 101 and 53, while Chase Abramczyk will move to 56 and 112. So that should be about it for us here at the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. I've been Steve Kelly on the call. Again, I run 3-Ball Spare on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch.tv, so check that out wherever you feel like subscribing if you would like to. Also, check out Candlepin's #4cancer.com to sign up for qualifying roll-offs or to donate. The latest roll-offs are Riverwalk Lanes in Amesbury, Massachusetts. And if you think you can bowl better than anyone you saw today, I invite you to go to candlepin.org and click Go Bowling to find your nearest center in the Northeast United States and Eastern Canada. Candlepin.org is largely focused on the states, so that's where the map comes from. Not all centers are shown on the map. There's probably extra ones that are not listed here. So always appreciate you checking that out. Any center you go to will always appreciate your business. So anyways, I've been Steve Kelly, and for Demetri, Dellas, Faye, Sawyer, Chyrel, Kneeland, and Chase Abramczyk. Have a great one, everyone. We'll see you at the next Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. Have a great one, everybody.